And I can guarantee you that we're going to be following up and making arrests in that case.
And they talk about it in rap videos and songs. We're not going to allow you to just arbitrarily run around and spray bullets into people's houses and cars.
With all the self-snitching that's going on in the Jacksonville gang war, it's only a matter of time before Yungeen Ace and his ATK crew are behind bars. And with footage already being used to track down Fulio's killer, Tampa police are only moments away from indicting gang members on a RICO charge. So what evidence do the feds have on Ace and ATK? Let's find out. Yungeen Ace faces RICO. Julio Fulio's murder continues to trend as more information surrounding the case is uncovered. And now, with Tampa police in possession of surveillance footage of the shooting, they are close to making arrests. The Tampa Police Department has been under pressure for the past few weeks, as the city has been rocked by a wave of violence that has left the community reeling. Peace in the city has been shattered by a series of brutal crimes, and now the FBI and ATF have been forced to join the investigations. That can only mean that a RICO is on the way. An emergency town hall was convened in Tampa after Fulio was killed, as the Tampa police chief tried to reassure the public that the gang war would be crushed once and for all, as the feds were on the case.
I'm working very closely with the Jacksonville sheriff. I spoke to him today. I've spoken to the statewide prosecutor. I've spoken to our prosecutor. I've spoken to the FBI and the ATF. And everybody is working together to ensure that we can make an arrest and hold those accountable that are coming into our city and committing these violent crimes.
With all hands on deck, the police chief hinted at something that should make Yungeen Ace shake in his boots. He guaranteed the city's residents that arrests were going to be made. That can only mean one thing. The cops already have some solid evidence in the case, and it's only a matter of time before we see the people responsible for Fulio's death behind bars.
And I can guarantee you that we're going to be following up and making arrests in that case.
And even from the town hall, it was easy to notice that the cops knew exactly what had taken place that night Fulio was killed. First, the authorities already know that Fulio had set himself up by giving his ops his location.
They go to a safe place, but they make their mistake by getting on social media. They let folks know where they're going to.
On June 14th, the rapper took to Instagram, where he posted a flyer announcing that he would be hosting his birthday in Tampa and even gave away the time. Right away, his fans let him know that it was a bad idea. And hours before he was killed, the rapper was all over social media giving the ops an update on his every move.
Pool party start the day at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. Pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock.
Luck wasn't on his side, as he was kicked out of the Airbnb that was his safe haven for the night. Police shut us down and kicked us out Airbnb. That's crazy work, he posted. He was forced to seek shelter at a Holiday Inn. But with his ops now hot on his trail using information he had provided them, he was a dead man walking. Surveillance footage shows a man shooting at his windshield as he drove in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn. The cops also know that the shooter is from Jacksonville, which is hours away from Tampa, since they are working with Jacksonville cops to solve the case. Tampa police and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office have also been giving the same sort of hints and clues to the press about what's to come. For example, they have both been talking about looking into social media posts and song lyrics to solve the case.
Are you guys looking at the social media aspect?
Absolutely. We're looking at the social media. We're working with our Jacksonville partners and getting intelligence on that.
And they talk about it in rap videos and songs. We're not going to allow you to just arbitrarily run around and spray bullets into people's houses and cars.
Well, Ace and his affiliates have been on a self-snitching spree even before the murder took place that morning. Ace took to X hours before Fulio was gunned down, where he posted his evil plans. That boy going the same day he came in, Ace posted. Mind you, that night, Fulio was celebrating his birthday. Did he know that Fulio was going to get murked that morning, or is it just a coincidence? Apart from that, just hours after Fulio was confirmed dead, Yungeen Ace dissed him in a music video for the track Do It. The timing and content of the song left many questioning what Ace's intentions were, as well as the message he was sending through this track. Is he taking credit for the hit, or is he just happy and trolling now that his fiercest rival has been murked? The lyrics of Do It are undeniably provocative and explicit. Ace raps about gunning down his rivals with chilling precision. The music video for Do It adds another layer to the song's disrespectful tone. In the video, masked men are seen shooting another man in what appears to be a motel parking lot, which is where Fulio was murked. While Ace doesn't mention Fulio by name, the timing of the release and the content of the song have led led many to believe that it is a direct response to Foolio's murder, which is meant to further antagonize the dead rapper's affiliates. Barely a week after releasing Do It, Ace released yet another track, Game Over, where he took his disrespectful antics to a whole new level. The lyrics are diabolical, and there's no doubt that Foolio is the target. Right from the start of the music video, it's clear that it's a Foolio diss as they brandish a bottle of Don Julio, which Ace takes a sip off before starting the song. While the song's intro is disrespectful enough, the lyrics are nothing short of evil. In fact, he literally explained what happened that morning Foolio was shot and killed. First, Foolio was killed at around 5 in the morning. Apart from that, he references Mr. Six, a title that Foolio often used in his lyrics. Shockingly, Ace even describes the number of people who were in the car that got shot up, which is what is in the police report. Well, this won't be the first time a rapper is taken down because of rap lyrics and social media posts. DAs in many states have made it clear that they won't hesitate to put rappers who brag about crimes behind bars.
They're kicking in doors, committing home invasions, and now I'm using those lyrics that they're admitting to doing that. I'm going to continue to do that. People can continue to be angry about it. I have some legal advice. Don't confess to crimes on rap lyrics if you do not want them used, or at least get out of my county.
In fact, the killers of Chicago rapper FBG Duck were put in jail after they snitched on themselves in a YouTube video. The gang allowed a vlogger, Panda Productions, into their stronghold. Interestingly, viewers easily pointed out in the comments section that they could spot the car that had been used in Duck's murder. One of the gang members, Boss Top, even hinted at the motive behind Duck's murder. Apparently, it was because he was constantly dissing one of O Block's most loved dead gangsters.
Like everything like that. I don't know. All I know, don't say that about Troy or rest in peace, Duck.
And now Ace's affiliates are also posting recklessly about Foolio's murder, meaning that a RICO could get them all. Rapper 23, KB, took to his Instagram where he posted a photo outside the same Holiday Inn. Foolio was killed just a day after the murder. Another Ace affiliate, Spinnabenz, posted about the incident as a victory on his Instagram stories. Game over. We won. Stupid. He posted. This was a tweet from King Von from back in 2018 after O Block had shot up a funeral and FBG Wooski was shot in the head. Luckily, Wooski survived, and while a RICO case is on the horizon, this will not be his first encounter with law, as he has been arrested multiple times in the past. Yungeen Ace versus the law.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided to you at no cost.
The first public record of Ace going to jail was back in 2017. In October 2017, Ace was sentenced to 31 months probation after pleading no contest in Clay County to a charge of accessory after the fact. That charge stemmed from a December 4, 2016 case in which Ace was accused of being the getaway driver for a man accused of attempted armed robbery involving a shooting during a marijuana buy. A Clay County sheriff's detective said in an arrest warrant affidavit for Ace that someone fired about 18 bullets from a .40 caliber handgun into an apartment building following a failed attempt to buy marijuana from two people living in one of the units. One bullet narrowly missed hitting a 12-month-old child eating dinner while sitting in a high chair and watching television inside a neighboring apartment. That bullet lodged in the headrest of the high chair. Whoever fired the shots was seen speeding away in a car. Subsequent investigation led to Ace's arrest. On this occasion, he was arrested with the infamous DeAndre Thomas. For anyone not familiar with this name, DeAndre Thomas was arrested for the murder of Foolio's cousin, Zion Brown. Fortunately, Zion Brown's sister recognized him as a Facebook friend and the boyfriend of one of her friends. Well, Ace's 2016 charge would come to bite him 1 year later. In June 2018, on a warm summer evening, Ace was out to celebrate a special occasion. June 5th marked the birthday of his younger brother, Trayvon Bullock. Alongside them were close friends Royale Devon Smith Jr. and Jacoby Deshad Groover. The group chose a local favorite spot for the birthday dinner, a place where laughter and music filled the air, and the worries of the outside world seemed to melt away. Little did they know that the night would take an unimaginable turn. After the dinner, the four young men left the venue and settled into their Chevrolet, ready to continue their night elsewhere. But as they pulled away, the unexpected horror unfolded in mere moments. A car, seemingly out of nowhere, approached their vehicle. Without warning or provocation, the night air was pierced by the sound of gunfire. The Chevrolet was showered with bullets in a relentless attack. Yungeen Ace, amidst the chaos, made a split-second decision fueled by instinct and brotherly love. He leaned over in a desperate attempt to shield his friend in the driver's seat, risking his own life in the process. Tragically, his efforts were in vain, and the driver, along with two other passengers, succumbed to their injuries.
They followed me at a red light. My blood little brother died on the scene.
And you got shot 8 times in this, and somehow you're the only one who survived.
Ace's problems would continue to haunt him as he was kicked out of hospital for lack of insurance, but things would continue to go from bad to worse as his legal troubles compounded. It was discovered that earlier on the day of the shooting, the group had visited a gun shop on University Boulevard. Video evidence from the store led to Ace being charged with a probation violation for firearm involvement. Facing the aftermath of the shooting and the legal repercussions of his actions, Ace surrendered to authorities. He was charged with violating his probation from the 2017 accessory conviction related to the attempted robbery. His probation terms explicitly prohibited him from firearm possession, and the video of Bullard handling a gun was sufficient for the judge to deny bail. Adding to his torment, Ace was also denied the opportunity to attend his brother's funeral, a heart-wrenching denial of closure. Ace was forced to move from Jacksonville for a while for things to cool down. However, when he went back to his city, it didn't take long for him to find himself in handcuffs yet again.
Are you claiming anything back in Duval?
What you mean?
Like gang? You in a gang?
Nah, I ain't in no gang. I'm in the tank.
Yeah, you're detained. You're not free to leave.
On April 16, 2024, around 8:30 p.m., a rented black Chevrolet Suburban was making its way through the city. Inside the vehicle were 6 passengers, including Ace. The SUV was heading towards Angie's Subs, a popular local spot, when it approached a 4-way intersection. Trouble started when the driver of the SUV failed to slow or stop at the intersection, which was a clear traffic violation. Unfortunately, it didn't go unnoticed by nearby police officers who decided to pull the vehicle over, initiating what seemed like a routine traffic stop. After the SUV parked, the officers asked them to step out and provide identification. It was quickly discovered that the driver did not have a valid license, leading to his immediate arrest. This initial violation was just the tip of the iceberg. With the driver in custody, the officers turned their attention to the remaining passengers. It was at this point that the situation began to escalate. The officers learned that both the driver and Ace were documented gang members, raising the stakes of the traffic stop. With a total of 6 passengers inside the SUV, the officers decided to call for backup, sensing that the situation could escalate. Soon, additional units arrived at the scene, and the search of the vehicle started. What they found inside the black Chevrolet Suburban would turn this routine stop into a major news story. The cops' instincts proved correct. During the search of the black Chevrolet Suburban, officers made a startling discovery. They discovered a total of 7 loaded and chambered firearms. Among these weapons was a black rifle in plain view on the floorboard, a sight that immediately caught the officers' attention. But that was just the beginning. On the second row floorboard, officers spotted a blue bag. Inside this bag, they found a RICO pistol and a black handgun, both within reach of Yungeen Ace, who was seated in the back middle of the SUV. The discovery of these weapons led to the immediate detention of all the passengers, including Ace. The officers documented each firearm, noting that one of the semi-automatic guns was loaded with armor-piercing rounds, a detail that added to the severity of the situation. Ace was arrested and taken to the Duval County Jail. Following his arrest, Ace was booked into the Duval County Jail. The gravity of the charges against him, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, loomed large. However, his legal team quickly moved to secure his release. His bond was set at $150,000, a substantial amount reflecting the seriousness of the charges. Luckily, in the state of Florida, inmates are required to pay 10% of their bond to be released. For Ace, this meant coming up with $15,000. The rapper managed to post the required bail amount and was released from jail the next day. However, his freedom came with strict conditions set by the court. He was ordered to have no contact with other gang members, a stipulation aimed at preventing further criminal activity and ensuring public safety. Additionally, he was restricted from contacting any witnesses except for his mother. The witnesses in question were most likely the passengers in the SUV at the time of his arrest. And now, barely 2 months after he was granted bail, he is at risk of getting a RICO charge. As we wait for Tampa police and the feds to make their move, it's important to look at other rappers who have found themselves in jail after being hit with RICO charges. Rappers hit with RICO charges. First up is Young Thug. On May 9th, 2022, Young Thug, Gunna, and 26 others were listed as gang members by a grand jury investigation. An 88-page document by the jury alleged 182 instances of the group participating in gang activity. So far in the trial, prosecutors have presented lyrics and social media posts to prove gang affiliation. The indictment against YSL members had a list of 56 charges, which included murder, attempted murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, theft, drug selling, carjacking, bullying, and witness intimidation. The indictment singled out Young Thug as a mob leader. So far in the trial, it's not looking good for the rapper. Some of his homies seem to be turning their backs on him and taking plea deals. One of the most heartbreaking betrayals was from his own brother, Unfunk. Unfunk entered his negotiated guilty plea on one count of violating Georgia's RICO Act and a count of theft by reception of stolen property, and his 12-year sentence was broken down into 2 years being commuted to time served and the remaining 10 years on probation. Reports surfaced that Unfunk had told on Thug, but he took to Instagram to rubbish those claims. Young Thug's brother wasn't the only one who betrayed him. One of his closest friends, Gunna, in and out of the music industry, also joined the long list of YSL members taking plea deals. Gunna was actually caught on video admitting that YSL was a criminal gang.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
Although Gunna still maintains that he didn't snitch on Thugger and didn't provide any information that would be used to incriminate YSL members, there is one person who has been caught on camera selling Young Thug out. This is none other than Lil Woody. Lil Woody, during an interrogation, admitted that he didn't even like hanging out with the YSL boss, since it always led to him being in trouble.
I'm already in a bad position. And this Thug and this me. Whatever he do, I'm automatically just attached to him. Because people think I'm just stupid. So I don't like being around this. You know what I mean? You don't call me up, come up there.
Well, it seems like YSL is falling apart with its members jumping ship and cooperating with cops, which is a clear sign that Thug may be neck deep in problems. Casanova is also among the rappers caught up in a RICO case. On December 1st, 2020, the feds arrested 17 members of the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation gang. A few hours earlier, prosecutors from the Southern District of New York Federal Court declared a warrant for the arrest of Casanova, who they alleged was a leader within the gang, and 17 of his gang members. The indictment against Casanova read like a script from a crime thriller, but for the Brooklyn rapper, the charges were all too real. The untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation was not just a group of individuals, but an alleged criminal enterprise with a hierarchy, codes, and a reach that extended from the urban heartlands of New York to the sun-soaked streets of Florida. Charges against them included racketeering conspiracy, conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, and possession of firearms in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. The gang, according to prosecutors, was involved in a list of criminal activities, including narcotics trafficking, violent assaults, and even murder. The narrative painted by the authorities depicted Casanova as a man who had leveraged his rap persona to amplify the gang's street cred, using his music and social media presence to further their operations. The rapper was facing life in prison if convicted of the top charge against him, racketeering conspiracy. At first, Casanova pleaded not guilty to all his charges. However, he later changed his tune. On May 11, 2022, Casanova followed the footsteps of 12 other gang members and pleaded guilty to racketeering and narcotics offenses. He admitted to participating in shooting a man at a party in Florida over a gambling dispute in July 2020, a robbery in NYC in August 2018, and conspiring to traffic over 100 kilograms of weed. Having spent more than 2 years behind bars waiting for his sentencing, he finally got to know his fate. Although he was facing up to 60 years, he was sentenced to 15 years behind bars. Casanova isn't the only New York rapper to fall victim to a RICO charge. Sleepy Hollow and Chef G also found themselves with a similar charge. On May 16th, the NYPD, in a carefully planned operation, descended upon the unsuspecting members of a notorious gang, among them 2 prominent rappers, Chef G and Sleepy Hollow. These rappers, whose tracks had amassed millions of views, found their worlds turned upside down as they were swept up in a net cast wide by law enforcement. The operation, a climax of tireless surveillance and intelligence gathering, targeted the 8 Trey gang and their affiliates, 9 Ways gangs. These gangs had long cast a shadow over the neighborhoods of Flatbush and Crown Heights. The indictment, a staggering 140 counts, laid bare the extent of the gang's reach, implicating 32 individuals in a series of violent crimes. The charges were severe, linking the gang to no less than 12 shootings and a murder that had been brazenly captured on camera. The narrative spun by the authorities was one of brazen violence and utter disregard for the law. The gang, which had extended its tentacles from Brooklyn to Manhattan and even across state lines to New Jersey, was accused of ordering, orchestrating, and executing acts of chaos that left the community in its wake trembling. The operation's narrative took a darker turn as Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez revealed the alleged role of Chef G's music earnings in the gang's operations. It was claimed that the rapper had used his financial gains not for upliftment, but to help facilitate further gang activity, encouraging members to partake in violent crimes. One such act of violence, a mass shooting in Brooklyn, stood out for its sheer audacity and brutality. The suspects had reportedly pulled up in a vehicle and unleashed a hail of bullets on members of a rival gang. The pandemonium that ensued saw saw one person killed and 5 others injured as bystanders fled, the scene in terror. The aftermath of the shooting revealed a chilling celebration of violence. D.A. Gonzalez recounted how Chef G allegedly rewarded the shooters with a lavish steak dinner at a Manhattan restaurant, a toast to their deadly score against their ops. After spending 14 months in jail, the Chef G is currently out on bond after posting a whooping $1.5 million bond. However, with text messages between him and his gang being used as evidence, Chef G has a long way to go to get his freedom back. Seems like Yungeen Ace won't be the first rapper to go down this path. And with all the evidence out in the open, it's just a matter of time before we see Jacksonville gang members in handcuffs. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.